are you feeling after the opening broadcast day of qualifications? What is this everything that you were expecting?
Um, Broadcast wise, it was. I didn't know it was gonna be broadcast till I just checked it like probably 5 minutes before we were supposed to lobby up, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I texted my dad the link, showed him what's up. He was like, you can watch here. And then we're doing a little kill race to see if I can get this interview after. So yeah, it all played out. It's pretty cool. Nerves were a little high, but hey, we're here.
It's interesting that you mentioned nerves because that is something that we were discussing as casters. That from what we could see from the first match, it looked as if people were not, teams were just not ready to be as aggressive as they wanted to be. They were playing a little bit apprehensive. Do you feel like that's kind of what you and your team were trying to kind of go for as well? Just kind of play a little safe at first until we get kind of comfortable in the hang of things.
Yeah, no. I mean, this week's a little different. We have our main player, our main support player, I'd say, Tupadre. He wasn't able to make it this week, so we had to play with a sub. So it was a little different, not having a lot of games with them. But our motto is still all gas, no brakes, and that's how we play. And we want people to know who killed them. So we're gonna rush you, and we're gonna come and hit you. That's how we play. So. And that's what I'm used to, and I don't want to change my play style for something different,
That's an interesting point as to, coming into this conversation, the lobby being a little bit smaller, there's so much more open area, so much more free time for you guys to loot, immediately get your loadouts off of drop. First and foremost, because I completely forgot to ask this question, what school you're representing, first off, and second off, being able to have that much more free time off of the drop to loot and less players, does that affect your gameplay? I mean, how does that actually change that? Because it's harder to go pedal to the floor and there's only 30 other players in the lobby.
Yeah, definitely it's different. I'm from Northwood University, by the way. Represent. Yep. So it's definitely a little bit harder to find people, but for me, I know I did my homework on some of the teams. They left their VODs on Twitch, so I was going through watching where everybody dropped from last week. So it was kind of like having that idea of how people are playing, and for us, it's a lot different because Super's my safe haven. That's my favorite place to go on the map. So I felt if teams are going to be scared to go to Super, why would we not drop Super? And so we drop Super, and we get our Lodi within the first 2 minutes of the game, and then we're auto pushing. I grab a heli, and it's time to fry.
No, I couldn't agree more, and we could tell too from watching some of the engagements as well at Supermarket, and also the fact that we would drop into game and see that some of you guys already had your loadouts, and so obviously the right strategy here. I do want to ask though, going forward, this is obviously just week one, but going into week two and so on, do you feel confident in your team's ability to remain consistent, or are you and play the same way, or do you feel like you're going to be paying close attention to the competition and how they adapt, and then be looking to adapt as well? Because obviously this is a closed tournament, and so everyone has their own kind of unique style. You can't necessarily just run in or jump into this like it's any old Warzone game. So is there anything that you kind of are taking notes and looking forward to kind of capitalize on in the coming weeks?
Yeah, so we definitely have the teams to watch out for. There's you can notice the skill gap when you're playing against these players, because even though they may do something different weekly, as I saw this week, the skill gap is still there enough where me and Foam Snatcher, Kubi, whatever you want to call him, him and I, we work really well as a duo together when we're together, but when we're pushing teams, they're more reserved than us. So I think the thing for us is just to kind of be a little bit more patient going into these next weeks when we get into our gunfights and playing those longer gunfights instead of trying to push up and get stunned and die off the rip. And that was something I made a lot of mistakes of today, was just trying to charge in when I could have just played a pick or something else like that.
Last question I have for you is, obviously new season coming in. Is that going to affect your guys' gameplay at all? Or are you just going to roll with the punches? You've been here, seen it all before.
I'm in the facility right now. It comes out in 4 hours. I'll probably be here live for the update. I'm gonna find the broken guns, and I'm gonna. The meta is always changing. It's always right now. Warzone's in a weird state where all guns are pretty much balanced in some sort of way. So with the new season, people want to try these new guns, and these new guns are obviously going to be broken. So I'm really looking forward to that 80 round pistol, and I'm probably going to have that max level by the end of the night here. So
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah, that's awesome. Very, very glad to hear. Thank you so much for the interview and talking with us. Before we let you go, is there anything else you want to say? Any shout outs you want to make?
Just shout out Northwood Esports. Just want to, thank them for bringing me in off the COD team into Warzone. It's pretty great to represent them for this, with all their achievements this year. So
there you have it. Thank you once again for the interview, and the best of luck to you in coming weeks.
all right, thank you so much.